Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, people of YouTube. Welcome to another video, and we're showcasing today the Panther 88. Thanks for a suggestion by Mr. Patreon subscriber, the Hero Baines. I'm taking this tank out for a spin. I haven't played it for some time. There has been the recent buff to take into account, so we're going to have a look at the tank overall in the garage, and then we're going to take it out for a spin and see how well it reacts in a game and what it is that makes the tank worth playing in some regards. So what we'll do is we'll just have a look at the actual buffs that it received in the 3.8 update, one of which is the chassis rotation speed increased from 38 to 40, and the gun itself, depression has gone from 5 to 8 degrees, and the horsepower has had a boost. So all very well in my opinion. The tank itself I didn't appreciate over other tier 8 medium tanks I had that were premium, and it does have premium matchmaking, so the buffs themselves can only improve the tank overall. At the moment, I'm running different types of equipment, so I'm looking at running medium gun rammer, improved vents, and the vertical stabilizer, all because the actual gun itself has a very decent set of accuracy stats with it. So it's not really something I want to improve. Maybe firing on the move would be ideal. They're the current piece of equipment, pretty much all tier 8 as you can see. The gun itself, very useful. This tank is, in a way, sort of a better version of the Panther 2. The only downside to it is its lack of armor. Not something of a useful factor, and you have to play this tank differently in order to maximize its potential. Its gun is very good overall in terms of its accuracy, penetration, and it's got a decent damage roll. Because of the rate of fire it provides, the actual damage itself multiplies quite a bit, so you can find yourself being in a position of getting several shots off at people, especially if you play it as a sniping tank, so you're taking them from long range sat behind a bush. Now unfortunately the camera rating of the tank itself is not particularly good, if I'm honest, so you are likely to get spotted, so I would try and keep it in cover as much as possible. But again, using it as a second line fighter or sniping tank would probably do you best help. The gun itself, the penetration value is very decent for your standard rounds, and the APCR as well, getting a large buff, so to speak, over the standard rounds. And because it's a premium tank, I don't really want to be running too many consumables that are going to cost money. The idea of the premium tank to me is to make money, so I'd rather do that, especially on the fact that shells themselves are relatively cheap, both for APCR and standard, and the gun can make silver because of it being a premium tank. I need that silver dough. The tank, in comparison to others, which would obviously be the Panther 2 of the same tier, fully upgraded, the Panthers 2 is actually nice. It's a very decent tank. I did enjoy it, and when it leads on to the end up being the E50, my god, that's also a good tank. But you can see how much better the actual armor is overall. I don't know how that color matches. In my opinion, it doesn't, but there you go. The guns, the armor, I should say, sorry, in the Panther 2 is a lot better. Unfortunately, the maneuverability as well is more or less there with the Panther 2, so the 88 was sort of buffed to kind of meet with that. And again, if we look at the comparison between the aim times on the Panther 88 and the Panther 2, it's mediocre at best for the 88, but still overall better. So if you're wanting a premium tank which plays like a Panther 2 but has a more supporting structure to it, one that you don't want to be frontline fighting or be aggressive with, you want to try and support a push forward. Obviously with lemming trains that would be ideal, but then you're not really going to find yourself in a position if you're shooting 3 or 4 tanks. It's not good, but you can still work it well. The buffs definitely are going to help. Premium match made tank, any kind of buffs would be ideal. So without further ado, we're going to go out and go into a couple of games and see how things go, and hopefully have something to show you. And so we're here on one of everyone's favourite maps, Highway. We're playing an encounter battle. It is a tier 9 game, I do apologise. There's only 4 of them to choose from. So let's see how we go with this. Highway is a bit of a weird one. It's not really one I can properly support on without staying back. Most of the people will stay in cover up until the flag point, and because I don't want to be using this tank to go forward and spot people, it might be a bit of a boring start to the game. Unless someone decides to YOLO scout or actually go out and spot, which the Type 59 is actually probably looking to do, or is going completely the wrong way. That baffles me. But anyway, again, I don't really want to be doing something. I'm not likely to spot people over there. I will still go into one of my favourite medium positions, which I take any tanks, because you get a good viewpoint down the bottom. And we will go muting people just to stop and come with the speakers. And hopefully the heavy tanks go into the town. If they do, I might be able to get a good position to be able to push in. At the moment, I want to use as much of the view range as possible to try and spot people coming up this part. Unlikely at best, unfortunately, because there's only 3 mediums on our team and 2 on theirs. I don't think we're going to see very much. And if we do, it's going to be for a fleeting moment. But again, the armor is not very good on this tank, so I am not going forward to go and YOLO charge some people to get absolutely decimated. We're going to leave that up to the big boys. People like your Conqueror and your M103s. When they do eventually get there. Kind of surprised we haven't seen anyone, but then it's not, because they will all go around the edge of the map. And for some strange reason, the 3 tanks are going down the far side, because people still play this like a regular standard match. Okay, since there's a lot of people going into town now, I'm going to push in myself. The T10, I don't really want to go up against the SU-12. If I can get a shot, I will do. Wait for that aim time to go in, make sure it's fully accurate. Now it does drop quite a bit at the standard round, so you do have to cater for that. Fortunately, due to the nature of the tank, you can easily overcome it. Unfortunately, I can't get to him. The J Panther's going to be sat behind a wall as well, so he'll be pointing our direction. The penetration's good, but I don't think it's going to be that good. But we'll give it a try. Ah, lovely jubbly. Do like that. It looks like he might be aiming at someone else, or myself included, so we'll still go forward and take a shot to the tracks. Oh, lovely, we'll set him on fire as well. And he doesn't have a fire extinguisher. Thank you very much. We'll go and try and push forward now. There's quite a lot of people taking interest in other tanks. This is where I'm hoping this tank will come into its own. You want to be a sneaky little tank, act like a light tank, get it behind, take a couple of shots, pull out again. Unfortunately, the flank's going to go round. Do have to be wary. There is an SU-122, which is the tier 9 big derpy tank destroyer that's going to say thank you very much if I pop my head around for too long. Oh, that was a terrible shot. Fortunately, the T-25-2 is likely to get buggered for anything he does. See if I can try and bounce him. Yeah, there we go. A little tiny wiggle on the back end of the tank. I don't want to leave the OHO an opportunity to get me, and the SU is going to be coming round. So, with the lack of people happening, or seeing anywhere near us, I want to get around the back of the SU and see if I can get some nice little shots. I do want to be wary of what's actually happening with other tanks as well. So we'll try and keep going with the reload, keep pumping them into the back. Again, keeping ourselves away from as much danger as possible. Want to make sure I actually don't get spotted too much by the T-54, which is looking to come my way. Try and put as many heavy tanks between them and us that are on the enemy team. We want to be that sneaky little bastard. We want to give them as little opportunity as possible to take shots. And if I'm able to actually drive a tank correctly, I might be able to get some shots into this tank. Oh, he's already dead. That'll do. The OHO's nearly buggered as well. And I'm going to try and time the shots to make sure if the SU is pointing in my direction, which he isn't. T-54 might be there. Can we get around him? Oh, the BK is going. So we'll leave the OHO there. The T-54's moved along. That's good, that's good. Hopefully this is the point where the E-75 goes forward and takes on the SU. Maybe puts them out into our direction. I have the health and armor to go forward and do him in, but I don't really want to. Might as well try and take some random shots at other people. Hoping that he's being hit by some other people, maybe. Oh. We don't want to go too far forward because there are other people on the back. Beautiful. Tracked him. I'll go after the T-54 now, who's dead. So this is the point where I can actually go forward. The only tanks remaining, the Tortoise and the Borsig. Borsig's likely to have a nice little derpy round. And fuck, Jesus. Nope. You're right, pal. I'll seen the shot behind, so that's someone else. Try and get some side shots into the track, but it's not working. If I can track him, then I can get some extra silver from people buggering him up. Again, all about that silver earning. If you can play the tank for your own gain, you can have points at which you're going to do a lot better than what you thought. Not every occasion, if you think you're likely to not be able to kill someone or get a lot of damage, track them. Because you'll find yourself getting the track damage assist from it, and be able to from there getting more and more silver. Fortunately, this has turned out to be a relatively good game for me, highlighting exactly how you can use it as a support tank with other people, taking on as many as you can who aren't paying attention to you. I had some decent little bouncers, making sure the T25-2 looked like he was going to aim at front, try and time it to when he was going to shoot, and then use the side skirts and side scrape, because it can do it, and it is really quite good for stuff like that. Here's the guy in the artillery, who will just have to RB and hit me, because artillery is so skillful to play. Thank you very much for playing, my friend. It's a shame it missed, but oh well, he's dead. And you would hope in every respect that person would then leave that tank and go play a proper one, but that's okay. We're going to win as it is. My thoughts are the Borsig will still be on base somewhere, but unfortunately, because our team has decided to cap and rather than actually go out and kill, it's ruined the game for everyone. But we managed to get a decent one. Overall, 90,000 silver. That's without any sort of silver boost with it. Unfortunately, not really a massive amount of damage, but coming second from the top in a tier 9 game in an underpowered premium tank that it was before. The buffs have certainly helped. I think that's a very, very decent game for me. Especially when you can see how well it works if you actually use it as a support tank. You don't want to be the one that goes out and gets spotted by people. You don't want to be the tank that goes out and takes people on. It's not really a tank that you would want to spot in. Definitely a support tank, definitely a sniping tank, and one that you need to look at how the game is progressing before you make a decision on what you should do. Don't take on the SU-122 because there was a T-54 behind him. The other tank destroyers could have been behind him as well. So bide your time. You don't need to go forward and do it. Just try and help out your team if you can do, but play for yourself. If you can only take a tracking opportunity and other people are getting hits, do that. You earn 90,000 silver if you do. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thanks once again to the Hero Baines for his support on Patreon. Details with regards to that will be in the description as well if you do want to do it yourself. And as always, if you have any other sort of ideas you want for tanks or any kind of opinions that you want to put across that I can do about changing, do let us know, because there will be equipment pieces on this tank that I've used which other people will find themselves to be not useful, and they found different ways of doing it. By all means, let us know in the comment section below, and I shall see you beautiful people later.